Hey guys, how you doing? Werenka from Simply Home, and I'm back with your September 2025 real estate market update for the Woodward Corridor. Let's get into it. So all kinds of ups and downs in the last month, so we're going to jump right in. As always, we're going to start with the city of Ferndale, and if you remember, last month we saw a massive drop in the average sale price between June and July, and we were waiting to see if the market was going to kind of rebound, if there were some underlying issues with that, and the good news is there were. So let's talk about it. Right now in Ferndale, there are currently 79 homes on the market compared to 39 that sold in the month of August. And the average sale price in August was $294,514. That's back up 17.5% from the month of July. And it's up 12.8% from August of 2024. So I think it's safe to say we're back where kind of where we want to be in terms of average sale price in the city of Ferndale. And of the homes that did sell in August, the average home sold for exactly 100% of asking price and sold in an average of only 23 days on the market. And currently in Ferndale, there's 2.1 months worth of inventory on the market. Okay, moving over to Hazel Park. Currently in Hazel Park, there are 58 homes on the market compared to 23 that sold in the month of August. And the average sale price in Hazel Park was $171,604. That's down slightly. It's down 1.4% from the month of July. And it's down 3.6% from August of 2024. And of the homes that did sell in Hazel Park in August, the average home, again, sold for 100.3% of asking price and sold in an average of 29 days on the market. And currently there's 2.7 months worth of inventory on the market in Hazel Park. So let's talk about that for just a second, that inventory level. That just means that if no other home hit the market from today forward, it's going to take almost 3 months to sell every house that's on the market in the city of Hazel Park right now. And then let's talk Oak Park. So currently in Oak Park, there are 51 homes on the market compared to 33 that sold in the month of August. And the average sale price in August was $228,260. That's up 1.2% from the month of July, although it's down 7.4% from August of 2024. And of the homes that sold in August in Oak Park, the average home sold for 100.1% of asking price and sold an average of only 19 days on the market. Although currently there is 2.2 months worth of inventory on the market in Oak Park. All right, let's jump on over to Royal Oak. Currently in Royal Oak, there are 232 homes on the market compared to 104 that sold in the month of August. And the average sale price for August in Royal Oak was $429,402. That's actually down 12.2% from the month of July, although it's up 6.6% from August of 2024. And I think the reason for that, there were some more high-end homes that sold in July, like lofts and high-end condos, things like that. And that kind of skewed the average sale price up. So it's just kind of returning back to where it pretty much has been for most of the year. And that being said, of the homes that sold in August in Royal Oak, the average home sold for 100.8% of asking price and sold in an average of only 18 days on the market. And currently in Royal Oak, there is 1.9 months worth of inventory on the market. All right, let's talk Berkeley. Berkeley is definitely heating up. Right now, there are 42 homes on the market in Berkeley. I can't remember the last time I saw that much inventory on the market in the city of Berkeley. And in August, there were 27 homes that sold, which is the most I've seen sold in, I can't even remember how long, in the city of Berkeley. And of those, the average sale price was $382,089. That's up 5.2% from July, and it's up 13.4% from August of 2024. And of the homes that sold in Berkeley in August, the average home sold for 101.1% of asking price and sold in an average of 23 days on the market. And currently there's 1.8 months worth of inventory on the market in Berkeley. And then finally, as always, last but not least, your favorite and mine, that little city with the big heart, Clawson, Michigan. Let's talk Clawson. Currently in Clawson, there are 12 homes on the market compared to 29 that sold in the month of August, which is I don't remember the last time I saw 29 homes sell in Clawson in a month. It's been years, so that's good to see. And the average sale price was $316,253. It's actually down 7.2% from the month of July, although it's up 12.8% from August of 2024. And of the 29 homes that sold in August, the average home sold for 101.8% of asking price and sold in an average of only 12 days. And currently there's only 0.7 months worth of inventory on the market in Clawson. So what does this all mean? So the numbers are generally speaking, trending back upwards a little bit, with a couple of exceptions. We're talking just like month over month average sale price, although there's definitely a lot more inventory on the market right now than there has been any time in the past, few years at least. Some cities have almost 3 months of inventory on the market right now, and that's about where it needs to get to start balancing out as a market and kind of shifting into a more of a buyer's market. So we're not there yet, but that's kind of what we're looking at. So I wouldn't be surprised, as we move later into fall and then into winter, which typically is like the slowest time of year for real estate sales in our market. I wouldn't be shocked to see more and more homes go on the market and slightly fewer sell. So it wouldn't shock me if we get into that, into a market shift where it kind of shifts into a buyer's market, at least, over the course of the next 6 months. No idea what's going to happen, next spring and summer. But just talking about like the foreseeable future, I wouldn't be shocked to see that. Now, that being said, we have another factor that we haven't had all year long, and that is a rate cut by the Fed for as far as mortgage rates. So mortgage rates are actually just about as low as they've been in all year essentially. It wasn't too long ago that we were almost right at 7%, and now we're firmly in the low sixes. And in fact, my mortgage partner is able to get people into the fives pretty frequently. That all depends on your credit score and your cash reserves and income and things like that. But that being said, it's definitely doable. And there are a ton of down payment assistance programs that first-time buyers can utilize. A really good one, I think I've talked about it on this channel. There's a 1% down, product from United Wholesale Mortgage. That's through Freddie Mac, I believe. That's really been helping people. The city of Detroit still has $25,000 in down payment assistance. MISTA I think is like $15,000 right now. So there's definitely ways to make that purchase more affordable as a first-time buyer. But specifically for like the cities that we're talking right now, I'm kind of, it seems like the market is very slowly in transition. Like we're not seeing anything month over month that's really giving me pause. Like the closest we've come to that in a couple of years is that big drop in average sale price for Ferndale last month. But that's rebounded most of the way this month, so I'm not too concerned about it. It's just, the overall market is just kind of, that's kind of what we're seeing. Nationally, it's a different story because there's lots of parts of the country right now that have completely flipped, and they're just been in full-on buyer's markets for the entire year. There's like a year's worth of inventory. Like some parts of South Florida have over a year worth of inventory on the market right now. We're not seeing anything like that. In those markets where that happens, it's starting to cause prices obviously to crater because sellers have to lower their price to get the home sold and all that. We're not seeing that right now. And that being said, we're in a different strata as far as price goes than a lot of the rest of the country. We're already priced quite a bit lower. We're much more affordable in our market than honestly most of the rest of the country. So we're not necessarily going to see the same, shifts and same market forces happen here. Although, eventually, that's probably, we may end up seeing that. It's way too early to tell. But that being said, for right now, for the next, I would say 1 to 4 months, I would expect kind of more of the same of what we're seeing, and obviously, whatever happens, I'll report back once a month. But I would expect to see, gradually more and more inventory hitting the market, which honestly is fine with me because we're not even back to 2019 levels of inventory. And 2019 was just kind of an average year in terms of, inventory levels and deal flow, but both of those were much higher than they are now. We're kind of like in between 2019 and 2020 right now for 2025 in terms of, the number of homes on the market and the number of deals that are closing. So, like I said, we're just taking it a day at a time at this point. It's nice that the rates have come down a little bit, so that's making home buying more affordable for more people, which is not something I've been able to say too much, lately. But we're getting there, every dollar goes further the lower rates get, and I would expect to see that continue over the course of the next few months. It sounds like the Fed is planning to lower rates 2 more times before the end of the year, and at this point we're starting to run out of years, so I would expect that to happen pretty quickly. Probably going to be like November and December if what I'm hearing actually comes to fruition. So that'll all be good for consumers. That's going to kind of juice the real estate market a little bit. And so if you're looking to sell, you're going to have more buyers out there, which normally we maybe wouldn't have later on. If we get into November and December, those aren't 2 months where that lend themselves to a ton of real estate sales. But in this case, you never know; it might happen. We kind of saw the same thing happen, in the last couple of years, where typically we'll see our inventory kind of peak right around this time of year and start dropping back down. We didn't really see that happen until like the middle of November for the last couple of years. So that might happen again, which, like I said, I'm not too worried about it. In fact, I'd encourage that, because we need more inventory than we have on the market right now. That just makes it better for buyers. And then on the seller side, you're going to still get, you're getting 101%, 102% of asking price. So what that tells me is that the nice homes, the ones that the seller puts some effort into to get their home ready to sell, those are still selling for over asking price. So that your average home is, if it's selling for 100% of asking price or more, that means there was more than likely more than one offer on that home. So there's definitely buyers that are jumping quickly on the nice homes. Like I've experienced that myself with listings and with purchases with clients that I was working with. So moral of the story is, the market is probably just about as strong as it's been all year from my perspective, meaning that the sellers are still able to get full price or higher when they sell their home, but buyers are able to shop around. You're not just throwing your best offer in with 15 other offers and hoping for the best. Like, it's a much less stressful, easier flowing market, and our deal flow is still quite high compared to where we were anytime in the last 5 years. So it's still above where it was in 2024. Everything's below where it was in 2019 still. So but that's fine. What it tells me is the real estate market in our market, Metro Detroit, is starting to get healthier, back to where we historically would want it to be. So that being said, if there's any other info that you want, or I missed a city that you want to know more about, whatever, just reach out to me anytime. You can call or text. Direct line is 586-491-5622. You can always email me, Werenka@simplyhome.com. And as always, I'll be back next month with another market update video. I'll be back next week with another real estate video. And as always, thank you so much for watching the channel, guys. I truly appreciate it. And if there's ever anything I can do for you, just let me know. Until next week, we'll talk soon. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.